Conversation forward. Raman Aggarwal, co-chairman at FIDC, joins us in the show right now. Raman, hi, good morning. How shocking is it that there have been no takers found for TLTRO 2.0?
Yeah, so I think we need to understand this in the perspective of two basic reasons which I can point out. One, of course, is an operational reason where since this TLTRO 2 had a fixed percentage to be invested in small and medium NBFCs, 500 crores and below, and 500 to 5,000 crores, and MFIs. These small NBFCs issuance of bonds itself is an issue because not many of them come out with such issuances, and more importantly, getting an investment grade rating is a big challenge simply because of their small size. That's having said that, I think the larger issue is what we need to understand is the consistent risk-averse attitude of banks when it comes to lending to NBFCs, and this has been going on since ILFS happened 2018. And the core issue which we've been highlighting is that I think the over-dependence of NBFCs on banks for funding needs to be corrected. So I think these are the broad two reasons which I see why this has not happened and banks haven't shown much interest in this.
Right. But then, Raman, the whole point of this exercise is futile then, right? Because the MSMEs and the smaller guys continue to be cash-strapped because banks have been in risk aversion more ever since, the IL&FS crisis.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think you have actually said the correct point. See, that's what we've been saying. The class of borrowers which NBFC cater to, the MSMEs, the small-time borrowers, shopkeepers, transport operators, etc., are the worst affected guys in this lockdown, COVID-driven lockdown. And they would need additional support. Now, who's going to provide that support? Obviously, we've seen over the years, NBFCs have been the right channels. And that is where the need to create those funding channels has to be there. While for the first time, I think regulators showed a very clear intent and directed banks. But point is, see, ever since ILFS happened, government came with that partial credit guarantee scheme. Now we are seeing this. All these schemes are routing funds through the banking channels. But the fact that banks have become risk averse, the desired results are not being achieved. And that's why we say, we need to open up some refinancing windows for NBFCs. That is the thing we've been highlighting, we've been stressing upon for the last 2 years now, and it becomes all the more imperative and crying need of the hour, in fact, in today's situation.
Yeah. Raman, I'm just going to take a leaf out of what Sanjeev Bajaj said on social media platforms yesterday. And he said that banks bid only for 50% of RBI's line today to NBFCs as well as MFIs. There is complete risk aversion, he says. And he says that RBI must give a direct line and the finance ministry must offer to bear the first loss for some time. Do you think that's a plausible solution? And would that really work?
I agree. See, when I said refinance window, while it could be through the existing institutes like SIDBI, Mudra, NABARD, etc., but under the RBI Act, there is a provision for RBI also to get into direct lending in special circumstances. I think these are most extraordinary circumstances, and I agree with Mr. Bajaj when he says that why not RBI take up that role? I mean, it is very, very important. And to give comfort to the market, the guarantee being provided, first loss guarantee by the government, will always give that extra comfort in the market. Because, as I said, we have to understand that this money is not for NBFCs. Please, this is ultimately for that segment of the society who are the worst affected with this COVID-driven lockdown. That message needs to be understood in the right perspective, and funding mechanisms for NBFCs, especially a very large number of small and medium NBFCs who are doing that ground level job. It's something similar to the story of the Kirana store story, which we are seeing in this lockdown situation. It are those small time guys who are actually helping. And it is the small, medium NBFCs who are at the ground level providing credit to the desired, segment of the society, and while being part of the overall financial system.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us this morning and talking us through the implications of that, Raman.